it essentially tells folks what the course is about, having students learn how to think and act entrepreneurially. It consists of 18 lessons that they're going to go through in order to prepare themselves to successfully take that Certiport Entrepreneurship and Small Business ESB exam. Okay, so you can see that below tells a little bit about NFTE and what we're all about. Also access to our website so that teachers and students can understand where this information is coming from. And then they can go directly into the modules. So within the modules, you'll see that all 18 of the lessons are accessible here. Okay, what we're going to start with as I take you through the actual course are the supplemental lessons. But I also want to bring your attention to the fact that the textbook is going to be linked here as well. It is not currently, but it will be. So we'll have the cover there and students can directly access it through here, a complimentary digital version. Excuse me. So going back briefly, again, just easy to go back, hit the back button. You'll see that here are all 18 lessons, okay? And I'm going to start off with the supplemental resources because that is essentially the hub. We talk about a teacher hub, and with our E1 courses, we have a separate teacher hub. But in this case, for the ESB Prep course, because it's such a condensed course, it's only about 30 to 40 hours of content for students versus our traditional 160 to 170 hours. So with this, the supplemental resources is where that hub is going to start. Teachers should access that supplemental resource first so that they can understand how to use this course to get students prepared. So it starts off with a student self-registration guide. So students also can be registered for the course and they'll have access to it. There's a video that you can play to learn how to self-register or enroll your students within the course. And then there is things like the ESB Prep whitelist. Essentially, that is just all the connections, websites, videos, everything that is within the course is on that prep whitelist, ESB Prep whitelist. Okay. But what I really want to go into first is the implementation guides. This is what teachers are going to need to access in order to start getting an understanding of how to navigate this ESB Prep course. So here we have the ESB Prep overview, and I'm going to click on that first. Again, this is within the implementation guide. And you can see the ESB Prep overview here gives an overview of what the program's all about. It's flexible implementation for grades 6 through 12, preparing to take that ESB Prep exam, ESB certification exam, sorry. And it's all the prep for it. The content, if you notice, is essentially the same as what was in E1. So we're taking students through just building on their entrepreneurial mindset, going through the lean canvas and design thinking, identifying those business ideas that they have, doing research on it, looking at the competitors, understanding how to market their product or service and who they're marketing it to specifically, what channels they're going to be using, what the costs all are involved. So how much is it going to cost them to create this product or service and be able to deliver it? What are those economics of one unit? And then financing and running that startup for themselves. And of course, pitching it to potential investors. So all of that was in E1 is in this prep course, helping them understand, again, that entrepreneurial mindset. That's what we here at NFTE are focused on, the 8 EMs that students need to be developing as they go through our courses are vital to help them understand how to think and act like an entrepreneur, which is why they're taking that ESB Prep course in the first place, so that they have a good understanding of how to think and act like an entrepreneur. Going back into here, you also see the domain overview. So if you don't have an understanding of what those EMI domains are, there's an overview for it. And then, of course, students should be taking our Entrepreneurial Mindset Index survey so that they get an understanding of where they fall on that EMI index, where their domains are, what they need to perhaps be working on as they go through this ESB Prep course. All right, so that's essentially what you're going to find in the hub. Also within the hub, again, we're still in the hub over here, which is just, we call it now our supplemental resources. There's also some nifty classroom posters for teachers. That's just aligned with the content, those instructional posters. And then there's also ESB Prep instructional PowerPoint. So all the PowerPoints that are being used in the 18 lessons are accessible to teachers here. So again, I'm going to use design thinking as an example. When you click on that, it will download it, and students should be able to view, and teachers should be able to view the PowerPoint that is aligned to that particular lesson. There are within the supplemental resources, formerly the hub, it also has ESB certification alignments and practice quizzes within here. Okay. It has, so the crosswalks again are there, those alignments I talked about, but there's also practice exams that are going to be important for students to take prior to them actually taking the ESB exam. So there's that to work on. There's answer keys for teachers to be assessing that as well. There's the digital modules for a better understanding of the entrepreneurial mindset domains. So as I said, within the implementation guides, there's the guideline there, but there's a digital module here if you choose to use that instead. Okay. There's some digital tools here as far as calculating burn rates and revenue. We have what we call our Own It series. So these are series where we have entrepreneurs actually come and talk to students. It is virtual. They can't speak to them over Zoom. Students are able to engage with them, but here are some recordings to use as resources if you want to get a better understanding of a specific subject, such as social media and YouTubers. Maybe you're going through that marketing lesson and really wanting to help students understand how they can use social media, what is best to use, which social media apps are going to be most effective for you and your business. We have some video here with entrepreneurs that are doing that. So this Own It series is as a supplement for you to be able to guide your students and have them hear firsthand from entrepreneurs. Then, of course, we have the Lean Canvas, which is what students are going to be using throughout the ESB Prep course. It's what our students use in all our courses in order to put together their business idea and actually pitch it. So there is digital versions of it as well as physical versions that you can print out. But those tiles are what they're going to be using to guide them through their business idea. There are examples of what a Lean Canvas, a completed Lean Canvas would look like. So everything from that introduction to the entrepreneurship and small business, the entrepreneurial mindset, the Lean Canvas, they're going to need to know those things as they get started in understanding the content. Then it goes into the actual content of design thinking, going through business ideas and opportunities, evaluating those opportunities, lean market research. So understanding if it's going to be a viable business or not, understanding your competitors, selling your product or service, marketing your business, targeting a customer segment. So who exactly is your customer? Because not everybody's going to buy what you're selling. Promotional channels, the cost of doing business, essentially what's it going to cost you to create or deliver this product or service. Actually delivering it, how are you going to go about that? What channels are you going to be using? The economics of that 1 unit of sale. Is it profitable? Is selling your product or service going to be profitable to you, and just how much of it do you have to sell in order to create an actual profit? And then financing a startup and running a startup, as well as pitching your startup. So those are the 18 lessons involved. There are practice quizzes as you go through the lessons that also prepare students for that ESB certification. Okay. And as they're going through it, you'll notice I'm going to click on, I always love using design thinking as an example again. So I'll click on that. And for example, lesson 4, if you click on it, it will then walk students through that lesson. So all of this is digital, okay? It's supplemented with a book because teachers can use that book as another resource for students to actually navigate through it on their own or get more detail and information. If this is not quite working for them, some of our students are a little bit more visual, some are more tactile, and some are more auditory. So maybe they have to go through it themselves. But this particular course is interactive, okay? So students will go through essentially what the lesson is all about. First, they're going to refresh themselves understanding the lean canvas. So understanding what section of the lean canvas they're going to be working on, what the goal is to explain the importance of human-centered design thinking in a business, and that guiding question, how does an entrepreneur use design thinking? Okay, so those recaps are there, recap and reflection.